Hey BB family, what's up and welcome back to our channel. For those of you who have been watching for a while, most of our videos are in English with Japanese and English subtitles to help all of you learn English. However, once in a while we do have content where I'm speaking Japanese.
覚えてる？愛車が今日は日本語覚えてるよね、さすがに毎日掃除してるじゃない？片付けてるし、料理も作ってるんだけど、なんかね、キャッチアップできない感じ。
Inevitably, I get asked the question, how did you learn Japanese? So today, I'm going to be talking about that. So here we go, how I learned Japanese. The story actually begins when I was about 9 years old. I fell in love with the Japanese culture, and my dad, being a linguist, decided to learn Japanese so that he could teach me Japanese. He's a pretty smart guy. Unfortunately, I gave up pretty quickly because it was really hard. Sorry, Dad. Then I went to Arizona State University, ASU, when I was 17. Now, most schools in America require you to take a second language. Most of my friends took Spanish because we already knew Spanish. Me too. I was raised with two languages, English and Spanish, because I was raised in the Mexican border town of Nogales, Arizona. The city is completely bicultural and is completely bilingual. So there's Spanish and English all day long, in the home, outside the home, on TV, on the radio. It is a beautiful way to be raised. So anyways, back to my story. Given the fact that most of us were raised in a Spanish and English speaking environment, a lot of my friends wanted to take Spanish as their second language. But me, I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to finally start learning Japanese. As you all know, language has two elements. It has input and it has output. That's all. You learn a language and then you communicate in that language. That's it, right? The input for me was basically just at school, 1 hour a day. So I took my first Japanese class when I was a freshman in college. I would go to class every morning for 1 hour, 5 days a week. That's basically where I learned grammar and vocabulary. Here is what I did outside of the classroom to really help me boost my Japanese skills. First of all, I took a Japanese drama. Just a TV drama. I would watch one scene and then replay it and then replay it again. I think I would watch one scene about 100 times. It's no joke. I would watch one, maybe 2-minute scene over and over and over again. Now, the first time I watched it, I wasn't really thinking about studying. I would just watch it. I wanted to know what the content was, what is going on in the scene. Then the second time I watched it, I would make sure that I understood exactly what they were saying, word for word. So I did that a few times. Then here's the big thing is I would shadow what the actors were saying. This is what is called shadowing in linguistics. I would just basically play the tape, and while the tape was playing, I would just kind of speak along with them. Now, I had watched this scene so many times, it became like a song. So it was embedded in my brain. It was like karaoke. I would watch the episode while I was cooking, or while I was putting on my makeup, or while I was doing whatever. So that's all I was doing basically, is I was just shadowing what the characters were saying. If you're interested in recreating this kind of output method as you try to, speak better English, you can check the description of any video almost that I have on this channel. There is a 4-step method in there that'll give you a basic way that you can use our videos in a similar way that I used that drama in college to do a little bit of shadowing and to just get a little bit of English output. Now, that's not where it stops though. So that's one element of output, is shadowing. But here's the thing, here's the second thing. When I would watch the scene, I made absolutely sure not to break everything up into individual words. For instance, if a character in the scene said, "Onaka ga suita," I'm hungry, I wouldn't learn onaka, stomach. tsuku, empty. Suita, past tense of empty. Like, I did not do that. I learned the phrase, onaka ga suita. I also watched carefully how the character said it, which gestures they used, in what situations it was used. So it was basically like, in this situation, I would use this Japanese with this intonation. And then I started doing that with a lot of different phrases. They don't have to be basic phrases like I'm hungry, onaka ga suita. It could be sentences. So see, I wasn't really learning individual vocab and like memorizing vocab. I was just learning everything in like sentences. That's the second thing I did. And for those of you who might be curious, the drama that I kept watching over and over and over again is Yamato Nadeshiko. Oh, Matsushima Nanako, like she was so beautiful. I wanted to be her. Look, I've always sort of wanted to be Japanese. I must have been Japanese in a previous life. I'm so happy here. The third thing I did is when I felt really, really confident with that phrase, I practiced it. And that's where my friend Kaori comes in. She was an exchange student at ASU, so she was learning English as well. She, would invite me to go out with her friends, with her Japanese friends, and we'd go to the lake and we'd go to dinner. Every time they would start speaking in Japanese, I would try to just kind of drop in whatever phrase I had learned that day. So I was constantly trying to just get it out there, just really speak. So basically, when it came to the two key elements of language, input and output, I made sure right from the beginning that I could incorporate both into my language study. That is not something somebody taught me. It's just something that I just kind of knew intuitively because I was raised as a bilingual child. I knew myself, the more I spoke, the better my Spanish got. I guess the big thing is I focused a lot on output, which is kind of unfortunate because in Japan, that's basically the one thing that's missing, is a place where you can just use your English, where you can just start speaking in English. There are, of course, a lot of English conversation classes. So you spend a pretty penny. They really do cost a pretty penny. You spend a little bit of money for 1 hour to speak, with a native person in English. But that's only 1 hour a week, or, if you're lucky, 2 hours a week. There are a lot of services where you can speak to somebody in a foreign country, on your laptop. But again, these are very limited. You pick a time, you pick a place. That's not how language works. Language it's constant. Think of the Japanese people who speak the best English. Most of them have lived in that environment, have lived in an environment that forces them to speak English. That is the only way you are going to learn a language. So, you could be very fortunate and very wealthy and go, overseas and take a lot of these lessons here in Japan, but it takes a lot of money and not all of us can afford that. So I am very well aware that there are almost no places in Japan and no services that really just allow you to speak English. Most of the services, our YouTube channel included, are about input. It's about a person or an influencer or a teacher showing you English, teaching you English. But that's only half the story. The other half is you gotta get out there and speak. Just start talking. Clearly that is very hard to do in Japan where it's only Japanese, basically. So, having said all that, Taka and I have been working on 2 projects actually that will help greatly with the output aspect of English learning. Now, as far as we're concerned, nobody has tried either of these. One of the projects will be launching hopefully in October or maybe November. You will be able to literally speak English anytime you want during the day, all day long if you wanted to. I'm going to be very closely involved with the project, so basically, I'll be your teacher. It's something that we are really looking forward to. It's something that we can offer all of you, and we will have details on that first project in a few weeks. So, I will leave you with that little cliffhanger. That means that you guys are gonna want to watch another video maybe in the future about this. It's called a cliffhanger. So I am going to leave you with this little cliffhanger. We look forward to giving you lots of details about our new service coming up soon. In the meanwhile, I just wanted to answer the most commonly asked question I get on this channel. So yeah, that is about it. That is how I learned Japanese. We will be back very soon with Alex and Olivia and Taka, the whole gang. Love you. I will see you next time. Bye bye, BB family.